He's going to talk us through what is required of us to do in week two. He's also going to talk about the major topic in week two, which is building softwares with AI. And he's going to show us the Tublian operating system, which is the tool that we've launched. And then also, just to be sure, just to some of you will be getting access this week to this tool, and we have some version of it available for a very few people, like just maximum of 10 people. And then with time we'll be rolling it out to eventually get to everybody in the coming weeks. So hi Neil, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming. I know this what you guys doing is pretty exciting. Sometimes it might feel hard, but don't give up. This could be a life-changing experience. So let me share my screen. I don't have a slide deck or anything. I'm just gonna walk you guys through the product. One of the things that we have done for week two is, excuse me, kind of focus on how we can augment our, excuse me, how we can augment our capabilities with AI. That's very important because when we did our first kind of open source internship, that came up with kind of a crazy idea. How about we do something like this? We didn't have an AI sort of help. Everything was. I think the only thing we did is that curated a list of projects for our users, and they said, "Okay, go at it." But now we have lots of powerful tools at our disposal, and I'm in a camp, and this might sound pretty odd. I'm in a camp in where if I have an interesting, powerful tool that can help me, I will use it. So I don't believe in that argument where, you're using AI to solve a programming problem, or if you're using AI to crack interview questions, that's bad. I don't think that's bad. Because reality is we should be using these tools to get better and faster. In the world that we are heading to, speed going to be the most important factor, the differentiator. And these tools can give you that speed, that acceleration. So in this week, you're gonna overall, obviously, we live and breathe in this space. I mainly and my team. Obviously, we provided lots of interesting co-pilot sort of feature. Not only it allows curates projects for you. I know this is a giant space. There are millions of repositories out there. We try our best to find projects using AI that matches your skill, and your skill is completely defined by your profile. And this is something that I can share a hack with you that you probably don't know yet. Everything that you see are driven by what kind of stacks you have picked in your profile. So if you are seeing stuff that you don't care about, or if you're not seeing stuff that you care about, then do this. This would be interesting hack for you. Go to edit profile on your Tublian, and you can edit this preference here. So somebody says, I don't want to see AI. Maybe there is an AI in your profile, maybe, or data science that is driving the tool to recommend AI projects for you. Remove that if you don't want it. On the other hand, if you want, do we have React.js in here? If you want to see more React.js type project in your queue, add that in your profile. So this will essentially drive our engine to recommend projects related to your preference. Okay. So we try our best to do stuff like that. Another thing that we have done is, I know we do this a lot, but is our AI Copilot that's kind of ingrained with the issue here. So it's here, our Copilot is essentially trying to analyze this issue. I realize for some issues, there are not much of information in here, and this is where the TOS agent will come in. I'll talk about that a little bit. But based on the context and information we have, AI agent will try its best to figure out and tell you what all things that you can do. So there are some guardrails in this place to help you out. So that's one way to use AI. Another way to
That's
use AI is obviously using co-pilots and agents. We're going to give you a demo of an agent that we are building, and some of you are going to get access to it. Trust me, I want to give access to everyone else, but we're a very small team. We are trying to control this experience and control the demand.
yeah, he was everywhere.
Another
But he
aspect
didn't
is
realize.
using co-pilots.
That's why
I'm
we are
pretty
seeing
sure some
yeah,
of you, if
essentially.
you're not, you should. If your editor doesn't have a copilot built in, try to figure out an editor which has copilot, some sort of tool that can help you. There are hundreds of
This
tools, and
our wire zone no
don't get
box
shy
one.
away, get comfortable using this tool, because reality is, once maybe you're a professional programmer already, when the professional world, the reality is that you're going to be asked to use these tools, because your manager is going to come in and say, why you're not using this tool? Because you can build this feature faster than if it's taking 3 days today, it will take 1 day. That makes sense. So I'm very excited about week 2. Mainly focus on try to get, because this is where the future is heading to. We need to get very, very comfortable with this kind of environment and augment our workflow. I'm going to pause now, see if you guys have any questions. Yeah, go ahead. Is there a question?
Uh, yeah, my concern is mostly focused on. I know of the Copilot feature where it gives you more information on what
Mm,
to fix about the repo, but
mm.
what other AI tools do? Because it's sounding like there are more AI tools that Tublian has to offer, but apart from Copilot, I don't really notice. Apart from the TOS, which has restricted access, I understand that. But apart from that Copilot, I just wanted to know if there are like any other AI tools that Tubia is offering. Well, of course, apart from the TOS once again, which has restricted limits, right? So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so another thing that we offer, there is obviously lots of stuff happening behind the scene that we don't expose in here. Our recommendation engine, which is also an AI. This is also something that I'm very proud of, our 80/20. Obviously, to be honest with you, this is not enough. Okay. We have roadmaps where we explore this AI technology, large language models. So please take benefit of our 80/20. So I dog food this as well. So if you look at my dashboard in here, I'm actually using 80/20 to learn about Claude. So this is another interesting feature you guys should definitely explore as you're going through it, to kind of advance your skills. If that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Um, so DM me if you. I don't know where you at with the week 2. If you want to get access to TOS, I'll see what we can do about it. I don't know whether you're part of the first user list or not. Okay. So all of this, that was a good segue. To be honest with you, all of this kind of is great, and um, to help you guide through this, but there is still some gray area, like someone just pointed out here, and that's the one of the biggest reason why we dove into building TOS. Right, one of the fundamental, obviously there are many other problems that we want to solve, but in the context of open source, the biggest challenge we have as a developer is jumping into an unknown code base. This is completely unknown. I have no idea. First of all, this is .NET. I don't even do .NET, right? Aspire, this project could be years old. So it has this context and tribal knowledge that you don't have as an outsider, right? We are all outsider at this point, but you slowly going to become part of the team as you start to contribute. That's
Sorry.
how this whole open source community and ecosystem work. But as a beginner, one of the hardest challenge is to jump into an unknown environment, which is your code base, navigate through that repository. It could be hundreds of files, could be thousands of files. Understanding the architecture and figuring out where the problem is and solving is not easy. Trust me, we know what the stuff that we're asking from you guys is not easy. If it's easy, everybody's going to be doing it. But that's what makes this thing interesting. That's why this thing has so much value in the industry, that once you build this sort of skills and understanding, this is a very powerful skill that every company desires. That's why we're doing this. That's the whole objective in here. But going back to the gray area, this Copilot can take you so far of just pointing out some cases, maybe obvious. Okay, I know I have to change a YAML file. Can you do more, right? We know this. To do more, that's why we built this autonomous TOS agent. Not everybody's going to get access to this. I'm very proud. I was working till midnight to release this. I just pushed 5 minutes early. Actually, one developer to another developer, bleeding edge. This is what the page looks like. This agent is, if you're not aware of AI agents are fundamentally different than copilots. So take an example of GitHub Copilot, which is probably very popular. The idea of Copilot is very active. It's in front of your face. You always talk to that Copilot and have a conversation to figure it out. It sits in your editor while you coding, is interacting with you, right? The fundamentals of agents, on the other hand, is they're autonomous. Okay, the way we have designed this agent and way our customers use this agent is that this agent is essentially a collaborator in a repository. So for an example, if I take you there, this is a repository that we're trying out. And if you go to the repository, or one of the collaborator is, how do I see collaborator? Doesn't the project have a setting? Where is the way to do this? Anyway, so the way the agent essentially works is that it's one of the it has its own sort of a user ID. I logged in as an agent mode. So this is, our agent is essentially a GitHub user, a bot nonetheless, but an user. Well, the way the clients use them is that they add that to your repository and assign issue. Once this assign an issue, this agent will go on its own, autonomous, right, behind the scene, and try to figure out solution and kind of propose pull requests like this, right? This is the pull request generated by the agent. In this case, we ask agent to add new test cases, essentially. It will make all the file changes and do that. The reason, the design behind this, the drive behind this is that so that it decouples you from the agent. While agent's doing all this boring, mundane stuff that you don't want to do, you can focus on more interesting stuff. That's the design goal of this. Okay. But we realized that for this particular internship, we added a special mode to this agent, because we do realize this is unfair for others if agent solves everything. If agent solves everything and you just create a pull request, it's not really helping you, right? And that's essentially cheating. So what we have done instead is that we added an assist mode. In assist mode, what agent does is that it will do what the main struggle point is. It will navigate the unfamiliar code base for you. Essentially, where our AI Copilot failed, it can go even further. It will analyze the issue. It will navigate the code base, figure out which files, which modules is affected, and going to create a nice implementation plan for you. So that from there, it's almost like working with a senior engineer. You go to your senior engineer saying, hey, I'm an emerging dev. This is a new code base for me. Can you guide me through this process? It's like that. It's going to walk you through, give you exact detailed implementation plan. I'll show you a demo here right now that you can take to essentially fix the issue and contribute to open source project. Okay. The system requirement is pretty simple. It says Docker based. That means it's not running in the cloud. You're going to be running on your local machine. This is the first step towards what bigger thing that we want to do. We truly want to have this agent available on everybody's machine, at least for all the Tublian community users. That's the goal. It's a hard problem. It's a very complicated problem. So we're taking baby steps to kind of get there. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us and trusting us for this. So one of the things that we have to do just to make sure, essentially, agree the free subscription license. Everyone will get this configuration file that will get generated for you if you are getting access to TOS. This is a set of keys that essentially powers the agent, right? Our agent can work with many open source models and other LLM models, but this particular release, we are relying on OpenAI. What we have done is that I've allocated a budget for this. So you don't have to pay for this. There's going to be free. We will pay for it, but you'll get access to the agent and play with this. Only thing we ask in return is give us a concrete feedback. Okay. Running an agent is pretty simple. So essentially, so first thing you have to do is that figure out a work directory. That's what I've done. This is my work directory here. I already was playing with this. This is funny that I mentioned this. I also use the agent to build the agent. We are using dogfooding this essentially. So agent is building itself, which is kind of interesting. So here is my work directory. Work directory is essentially where I clone and keep all my open source projects, right? This is where I do my work. So for this agent, you just have to identify which work directory the agent's going to use. In that work directory, you have to create a .tos file. That's what I did. I cannot show you the TS file because it has my secret keys. This is my TOS file I created. All you have to do is that copy this thing in here and download the launch script. When you click this, it's going to download a zip file for you. We try to make it simple, but we'd love to get more feedback from you guys. This is a zip file I just downloaded. The zip file is going to have two scripts, one for Windows and one for the Mac and Linux. Okay. Any question before I go to the demo part? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm here once again. The agent looks like really cool, right? And I mean, you guys are working on something amazing. My question is, from what you explained, for my work directory, is it possible for me to like have probably I'm working on various open source projects. Probably I want to work on like, or basically let's say that directory is for open source. So I'm now cloning various open source repositories. But then I make that work directory the default directory for the TOS agent, which will have the .tos file. Is that how it's supposed to work? Or each open directory needs to
No. This is my work directory, and these are all open source projects I have in there.
Okay, sorry for the confusion. Thank you.
No, yeah, that's thanks for asking. I'm pretty sure others also have that issue. Okay, so I have that launch script in here. The launch script requires a command line argument. What's the argument? It's probably obvious. The argument is we need to provide the location of the work directory. Bleeding edge. Let's see. This will be fun. All right. So I'm gonna do this. Oh, I had a slash in there. That's why. I'm gonna specify my work directory as a parameter. Now, this is what took us time because our agent is so autonomous. We never felt like building an UI for it. Okay. Because why you did need an UI? Because it's always behind the scene. Its UI is as a GitHub page, right? But for this particular one, we did. So this is what the console chat box looks like. So when you log in, it's gonna everyone will get a unique ID. So it knows my ID. So that's why it's using. This is my actually Tublian ID. So once you start the agent, it will specify the running mode and assist. Remember, in assist, it will help you with the implementation plan. Based on how you guys use it, next week we might switch the bit, which would mean is that in some cases we make it full mode. In full mode, it will not just stop at the implementation plan. It will actually make the code changes for you. Okay. But before I release that power, I want to make sure you guys can handle this. Okay. So it has two commands, obviously adding new repo and helping out with an issue. Let's add in repo because here is the workflow that I would encourage you guys to follow. So you're in the internship, you go in here. I'm assuming everybody has done week 1. Week two, a look at the issue. This looks interesting. We've been looking at that. Let's play with this a little bit. So this is an issue I feel like I want to solve. So first thing it requires, if you go back to the agent, it requires the command I want to add. So I will hit the add. When I say add, it's asking for a GitHub URL. It needs to clone the repository before it can start working. That's why it's asking for the URL, okay? So what's the URL? I'm going to click in here, paste that in here. And next question it asks is that type of repository. Now this is important. We're going to make this experience even better, trust me. But for now, please bear with us a little bit. So we have thoroughly tested agent on various type of projects. Python, obviously, our project is Python, is built on Python. Maven, NPM, Yarn, and Gradle. These are all build tools. Our agent heavily relies on build tools because build tools gives the agent the information about what type of projects it's working on. Okay, so you have tested in all these projects. So the success rate on those type of projects is going to be higher. But in this case, it turns out it's not a none of this project, right? It sounds like it's like a .NET project. So I'm just going to say other. Okay, what it did in this case is that it essentially cloned the repo. You can see the commands, it's firing. What that means is that it's actually have that repository already cloned. It's ready to help you. So I'm going to go to the help command now. In help command, it will ask for what type of, because the agent can work with multiple repositories at the same time. So it's asking for help. I don't know, foo, just to test it out. Then it will tell you that foo is not a valid repo. Here are the possible repos that you have here. So we did, the name of the repository is Aspire. So I'm going to say Aspire. And it's going to ask for what type of issues you want to solve with. So this is the issue number. Remember the last bit in the URL. I know this is a little clunky in here, but it will get better. But for now, for this week, please deal with this. When the issue number is this, the last number in here. We copy that issue number and test it, and that's all the information it needs, and it's gonna now try to analyze the repository. Is doing that heavy lifting for you, which sometimes takes for us for hours and hours to figure it out. I hope the agent here helps you with all that stuff. It will go through many different steps in here. Obviously, understanding the our agent is kind of baby, is trying to figure it out. What type of project is this? What are the test folder, source folder, all that stuff. If you guys are interested, I would love you guys to watch through this process because it's essentially an engineer like us. It's actually stepping through everything, trying to analyze the problem, figuring out the flow. All that stuff is happening. While it's doing its work, it will take a few minutes in here. I'm happy to take any questions about TOS, how to get access, who wants access, the limitations, anything. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm a user, right? I want to get access to the TOS agent. So regarding my specifications, I am running on a Linux Ubuntu distro.
Okay.
That's 24.04 LTS. Regarding my system specifications, Core i7, does that work, or are there further
Yeah, I mean,
limitations?
as long as you have a Docker installed, it uses actually Docker. So your operating system really doesn't matter. As long as you have a Docker
I can install Docker. I can install Docker.
yes, please make sure you install Docker and Docker is running. My Docker is running here. And you have at least 4 gig of space. Our agent will take around 2 gig when it downloads with all the dependencies. That's all you need.
I have that as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so, thank you.
Yeah. What's your name? Who are you?
Lancer.
Lancer. Okay, I'll remember that. Any other? Lancer, you're out of, you can't ask any more questions. I think you're done with your quota today. I'm sorry, I'm messing with you. Yeah, Sunday, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, Daryl. Um, okay, my question is, based on the project repository, the model Yeah, the model that you're showing us now will request for the type of project being built, right? The when is it
S-
the build itself, the project, and not the various applications that were used in the project.
I can barely hear you. Can you repeat your question, please, again?
Yes,
Okay, can
ah,
you hear me now?
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I've played this in. I think I've played this since
Yes.
Saturday.
When you're
I
introducing
can't remember when I played it before Saturday.
the model, let me use the word model, the bot. So you made mention of on the installation process or in the process where it will
Let me
help
send
us
my
to
day long
analyze the
meeting like
repository that we want to work on,
once I did
to
meeting like this.
ask
Yeah.
us of the build or the type of application we're working on. So we
That's
want
why
to
I'm not
know the
sleeping through
type
this
we are
meeting.
to respond with. That should be the build and not the different technologies that we use on the
Correct. Correct.
application.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Yes. The build tool is what we best this agents the agent is designed or used designed to use, because build tool is what gives us a lot of
Who they
context about
chop
the
this
project. So
jollof
project
rice?
could be using Python,
Which jollof?
C sharp, C plus, whatever. But
Cook
if
today.
that
I mean they
project
cook.
is using
I'm the
make
food.
file,
Eat
then
more.
make
Don't
is
need
the
to
build
burn
tool.
butter.
Or if the project is using Python and C++, but
What
is
do I
using
need? Just to write their
setup.py
names on
or
this thing.
requirements.txt, then it's a Python project, if that makes sense.
Write their name here.
So you're right. I'm
Bring them
agreeing with
there.
you.
Shake their
I do
hands.
believe
Femi. No, call Fred. Shake their
that
hands.
step where we are asking for repo
Very
type, I
Femi.
do believe that's a
Nobody's.
constraint,
Michael is
and
wearing a shirt.
we have some plans to remove that. Our agent should be smart enough to figure that
Ah,
out. It
no, it's
doesn't need
Liverpool
your
that they will
input.
see today. Oh.
What is a repo type? Because it already has access to the build file. You
Oh,
should be able
community
to figure that
t-shirts.
out. We will
Oh.
but
Yeah, that's what we're giving them
all
now.
right. So if you guys can see my
Yeah, they will wear
screen
it.
again, please, this
Should they wear
experience
it?
will get better. It actually solved the issue. Not means it
No.
has the plan. It's done with the analyzing it. Okay.
The
It took
people
some
now.
time. It analyzed to all the
Eh?
stuffs. I'll have to go
I mean, the
you guys
people
to go through
participating, they
this. You will see
participate.
some techniques
And I
that
was
we have
giving it to them
used to
now.
build this. But anyway, so
I'm
this
good.
created this plan for you and is ready to accept
No, it
another
doesn't.
issue
It
or
doesn't.
request from you.
All of us will not be
The plan
uniform.
is it will have a detailed
All of
solution
us will not
plan.
be
This
looking
is where
alike.
I think we are extending the
Yes,
Copilot
now one person
experience.
has to be different.
We are giving you specific files, steps that you have to do,
Think about it.
exact things that you have to do and run, and also specific
Your
test
friend is
cases that
very
you can
sweet.
use to
Barakat
either
is around.
automate them or test your
Gabriel said
solution
he's
out,
coming too.
right? So
Yeah.
this I believe will be
Eh? I don't know.
your
But
output
I
from
mean,
the
I spent it the
agent,
time
which
late.
we
I'd have to
believe going
do
to be,
make it.
it also tells you which module you need to go through. So there should be a module
Yes,
called
now
browser
Ben was one of the main
telemetry.web.
judges now.
So open that app. If you
They said
follow this instructions
Selma said
through,
something, but she
I
was
think
tired.
that
She
will
was
help
mentally
you
exhausted.
guys to contribute to or solve issues
She's
for this
exhausted
open source
from all the
project.
talk.
Like I said, this is running in
That she even
assist
left
mode.
early.
That's why in full mode, which is the default mode, it actually after this it actually goes in and try to essentially implement and solve this, because it knows exactly what to do to solve that problem, if that makes sense.
And do it.
Is this useful? Any questions on this? Do you want me to run one more help or add project?
The one guy came to ask me, oh, I said the person who promised you. But wait, who promised? Who made that promise?
Okay.
What do you plan on
Um,
giving them?
so, like,
Who is
I
the
would
person?
love to get your feedback on this. Some of you will get access to it. Like I said, we're going to continue to give access to this.
Just give
If
me
you
the
really
person.
need access, DM
Let me
me,
share it on.
tell me why you need
Can
an
give the person
access.
a
I'll be
shirt.
happy to give you.
But me, I did
Uh,
not know when that promise was.
but
It
other
was when
than
the person
that,
was like, so
it's
if they're
over to
giving
you,
prize
Precious.
later, is that the day they will not give the person that did the biggest social media? I'm like, social media what? They said they told them to make a tweet. I say, which tweet? See me, I do not know. But it's fine.
Precious, you there? You're on mute if you're talking.
Yeah, so sorry. So sorry about that. All right. So I don't know if any other person have any questions. I don't know any other question. Anyway, thank you, Lancer. Thank you, Moses. Yeah, thank you very much for your contributions today, and thank you everyone for showing up. Um, Oshegman David just showed up. Come on, you came late. You watched the recording later, right? So, thank you everyone for coming. So, if there is no other question, I think we can end the session here while you continue with your week two. If you have any issue, be on your. If you have any issue with your week two, please reach out to
So
me on
there is a
Discord.
one more thing. Sorry, Precious. Yeah, one more thing that we're doing is that please join the community call tomorrow. What we're gonna do, that's okay. If you're late, that's fine. I think this meeting is getting recorded, so watch the recording. We did just demoed the US agent for everyone here. Um, Tomorrow in the community call, I invited one of our team members to come join. He has done this internship before. He is an avid open source contributor. We're going to make that a working session. So any issues you have with your projects, having hard time pull requests, navigating projects, TOS, anything. So he's going to be there. I'll try to join as well. So we are ready to help out because I know from week two things are getting a little interesting. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So one of our engineers will be on the community call tomorrow, trying to answer all the questions. So if you have any question, just show up tomorrow. Ask your question. It will be hands on. So there will be like practical hands-on stuffs going on in that session tomorrow. So just be there. If you are in West Africa, time is 3 p.m. If you are in India, time is 7:30 p.m. If you are in US, like EST, is 10 a.m. Yeah. So the recording of this session will be available today, like in the next 3 4 hours. It will be available. All right. So thank you, everyone. Meanwhile, yeah, Alifatik, are you still on the call? Hi, Alifatik, are you still here?
Yes, hi everyone.
Yeah. Hi. So guys, you guys will notice Alifatik has been available on the Discord channel. So he's one of our mentors. He's one of the mentors that join us newly. So if you have any issues, you can tag me, you can tag him, you can tag Nilanjan. Most of your practical issues, if you have issues with GitHub, if you have issues with maybe understanding the project structures, you can tag Alefatik. He's one of our mentors. Yeah, so I just thought I should announce him on this call before I make another official announcement on Discord. Yeah, so yeah, guys, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you. I really appreciate. Yeah, so goodbye. Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye guys. Bye everyone. Thank you everyone.